You gotta stop telling people all my business. I give half of my business, Jay.
I think the world is aware of how you feel about snakes.
Yeah, I mean, if they could kill you, I'm scared of it.
Well, also, like, the people, there is a subset of people out there that like snakes. They're weird.
Well,
if you are a person that has a snake.
No. They like their snake. They don't like all snakes.
Still, it's weird.
I mean,
you got a pet snake, you're weird.
My buddy yesterday, we playing golf. He hit the ball in the weeds. He's just walking through the weeds. I'm like, look, I'm not walking in there for you, brother. I mean, I'm not going to look for my own ball in the weeds. I'm not going to look for yours. You know, why? Might be a snake.
Yeah, I don't share that. Like, I can walk through the weeds, right?
Go ahead.
You don't have to.
I won't.
Hit it straight. Then nobody has
to. You don't have to go in the weeds.
We'll see how all that goes. It's been a funny couple days. I did want to ask you one thing that Dan Quinn said yesterday that I thought was really smart. And I think maybe this is a league-wide thing, but I think these rosters, we're going to get so caught up in cut day next week, right? And a lot of that will be happening throughout our show, and who knows? Maybe we'll have to throw to the breaking news sounder and all these things, right? Mm-hmm. But Dan Quinn said, we kind of view it as a 70-man roster. We don't even think of it as 53 anymore because the practice squad is that much bigger. And
the fact that you can bring them up and down,
right?
And that's how it should be. Like, everyone is saying, well, if they had one more game, they're going to have to increase the roster. The roster has been increased already.
The roster's been increased. I wonder how much more flexibility that gives them. But the other part is, if you are trying to get somebody to your practice squad, it requires you to release them, which means somebody else can snap them up. Mm-hmm. So you can't, like,
if they can talk to them.
If you tell a girl you're not going to be exclusive, she might go home with some other dude.
Yeah, she might. But
like, if you cut somebody, they might sign somewhere else.
That girl is not like these free agents. Like, that free agent may have been already talked to and really liking him. You tell him, look, just disappear. Don't tell your agent don't answer no calls.
I get that, but you're not going to have 17 people listening.
No, not all 17, but you know what? You the thing about this is you keep bringing up that girl. See, they have like,
I brought it up once.
They have like 45 girls, and they need to just keep 17 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's only 17. 45 people, and they need to keep 17 people. So if somebody take them, you got 45 that you choose from.
Commander Tequila is somehow surprised that they released the kicker. How on earth can you be surprised?
Because his name is Commander Tequila, and he probably owns some tequila this early. The only person surprised that they released him is somebody that got to be drunk, high, or something else.
Related to him.
Yeah.
Like,
is that your cousin?
Mrs. Patterson is very upset by what happened. Yo, my guy Mitchell Parker was dealing last night. You see that?
Nope.
Yep. You can always count.
That's how they won. That's all.
You can always count on the Mitchell Parker bounce back game, baby. And we've thought that since at least 3 weeks ago. So yeah.
It's been a little longer than 3 weeks.
Dyed in the wool.
Yeah.
You know that we do have football tonight, B.
Oh man, I'm glad you said that. I got to text somebody.
So I know you're headed out of town. You leaving tonight or tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Now you are going to meet your granddaughter, which is such a cool story. I have one, I'd argue, relatively simple question.
What?
Are the golf clubs coming?
No.
Okay.
Hell no. I'm going there just for her. I'd probably tell my son, get the hell out of my face. Yeah.
Just hanging out, chilling. Now, will you stay with them or did you get a hotel?
Got a hotel. It's right across the street.
Okay. Are they in the same? I wish I remembered that part of town, what it was called, but they were like right by kind of the pier, the Embarcadero or whatever when I was there.
I know nothing about San Fran, bro.
San Fran is wild because I think it's
wild and weird.
I think it's like legitimately one of the most beautiful cities in America. You got these huge hills surrounded by water everywhere you look, but it's weird. Last time I was out there was when the Skins played the Niners on Christmas Eve, if you remember that game. It might have been Heineke's last start, and then Ron pulled him to put Wentz back in at halftime.
Yeah.
And then Wentz started the following week against the Browns and was god awful.
Yeah.
Heineke was actually pretty good in that game. Ron just clearly wanted to go to Wentz.
Well, when you go and you get somebody and then you're the bleeping guy who looked at the analytics, you're supposed to try to put him back in the game.
But dude, San Fran was there's a lot going on out there. Like, going to New York, going to LA, whatever, you know what you're getting yourself into. San Fran, you don't know what you're getting yourself into block to block.
Well, I'm not gonna be going block to block.
I think
I'm gonna be inside the hotel, inside the apartment.
Scotty G has a good question. So there's no golf on this trip, no work, right?
Yeah.
How many pairs of shoes?
Probably about 4.
4.
Yeah, I have different outfits. What I wear there, I'm gonna probably take them out to eat that night, and then on Saturday we're gonna probably go walking. So I need some comfortable shoes. Maybe we go out to eat again, and then I'm flying back. So about 3, 4.
There you have it. All right, BMitch and Finlay. Kevin Falk, Super Bowl winner with the New England Patriots, joins the program next.
Hey, it's Brian Mitchell here. Are you tired of those lackluster cooling systems? Well, it's time to switch to Root and feel the difference. Thanks to the IRA Act, you can score up to $2,000 in tax credits on select heat pump systems. And Maryland residents, there's exclusive rebates from Root just for you. Personally, I've upgraded to 3 Root 18-SEER inverter heat pumps to stay cool at my house. Root keeps me comfortable, whether I'm chilling at home or hosting game day parties. So beat the heat this season and visit Root.com. That's RUUD.com to see why they're the MVP of cooling. And remember, if it ain't Root, it ain't right.
No, I'm singing 50. I'm singing the song. BMitch and Finlay, 106.7 The Fan. Shout out to everybody looking in the stream. Joining us right now, we're excited to get to the BetQL guest line. Welcome in our friend, Mr. Kevin Falk, second rounder in the 99 draft. 3-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. Kevin, what's up,
Former
man?
quarterback on top of that.
How you doing, dude?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
We good, brother. What's happening with
y'all making me feel old with the 99 draft and everything.
Sorry.
Well, Kev, you were 99, I was 90, so don't worry about it. You good.
Oh, trust me, I understand. After I said, I'm like, damn, I'm talking to B.
And look, when I texted you last night and then I didn't see your response to this morning, I was asleep now.
There it goes. That comes what we just talked about. When I texted you earlier, I was like, I understand.
So, Kevin, this weekend, the Commanders and the Patriots conclude the NFL preseason. They got Sunday Night Football. When you were playing and you were on just some truly great teams, right? Like, I mean, I imagine your career, you went to the playoffs every season probably. What did the preseason mean for you?
As a player,
yeah,
try not to get hurt. But at the same time, you understood that if you didn't give everything, that's when you get hurt.
Yeah.
So it was just about making sure you're sharpening up your craft, trying to play full speed, and mapping down, the plays.
Did you play with Mayo?
Yes, I did play with Mayo. Interesting.
So
Mayo was like his first year coming in, he was dang near a captain as a rookie.
Really?
Yeah,
so you knew he'd be a coach.
That's what you kind of understood that. When Bill recruits somebody, Bill drafts somebody, it's all for a reason. And when he was dang near the captain, it was like, okay, this guy's pretty smart. And then you started seeing it in his play as a rookie. So it was coming.
What do you think about the Patriots quarterback situation? Right now, it's pretty unclear if it's going to be Drake or it's going to be Jacoby. It looks like Jacoby's going to start this game Sunday night. But if you were on the Patriots, if you were on that team, who would you kind of want to be the guy?
First off, as a former football player, I know we got practice reps, but those game reps mean more. Those game reps are a lot full speed, and from my understanding, the way practice is right now, Brian, they say we can play 25 years.
Hey, I tried to go run a couple of days ago. I don't know about that.
No. We done. Once you hang them up and you don't do nothing for a while, it's over. But back to what I was saying. I don't think either of them has got enough game reps in the preseason. That first preseason game they played, I think each one of them got one series. You would have liked to see them both get a couple of series, kind of get into a groove, because a quarterback is pretty much like a jump shot shooter. He got to get that feel. He got to understand where guys are, and that takes time. Yeah, we do it in practice, but like we said earlier, that's not full speed all the time.
Sure. Who do you think, have you been able, I mean, I know you're down in Louisiana. Are you able to watch the Pats at all?
Oh, I'll find some type of channel to put on New England Patriots. I tell you that.
What have you thought of the young quarterback of Drake May so far?
He's done some good things, but he's also done some things you question. But that's a rookie. That's what rookies do. This last preseason game, Mayo was talking about he's going to make a decision by Monday. So I would think that you would have to see those two guys kind of extensively playing a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not saying that I'm correct, but they both haven't got a lot of reps in preseason games.
Talking with Kevin Falk here, 3-time Super Bowl winner with the New England Patriots. Kevin, I want to switch gears. Obviously, you played the bulk of all of your career with the Pats. You played with Brady, Brewski, Mayo, like you said, but you're down in Louisiana now. And I know that you've done a ton of work with LSU. Jaden Daniels is here in Washington now, and he's impressed the hell out of us, frankly. What do you know about Jaden? What's he like as a person? Maybe some of the stuff we haven't seen yet.
I'm pretty sure y'all seen it. The willingness to learn, the willingness to get better, and the number one thing, he's an athlete. He can make things happen with his feet. And over the past couple of years, he's really upped his passing game, his reading game down the field and pushing the ball down the field. So, with a great quarterback coach, that can get even better. So happy to see it. Can't wait to see him.
Yeah. And so the big thing here, he ran a ball the other day. He cut back inside. He was just tackled from behind. Everybody's losing their damn mind. Oh, he can't slide. The kid can slide. Somebody put a video reel out where he slid all the time. He's had a lot of slides, so he knows how to slide. Do you think if they were to go to him and tell him, we need you to just protect yourself, that the question I'm asking, many people act like he won't listen. I think he'll listen. I think in college, I've always said this, in college, you're doing everything you can to get the attention of the people at the next level. Once you get to the next level, you're doing everything you can to prolong your career.
Right. Well, like I know, it's going to take that one hit, and it's going to be like, okay, yeah, coach is telling me that. I got you, coach. I understand. And then it's going to be a reoccurring thing. But we hard-headed. That's just competitors that wants to win. We hard-headed, and all it takes is just one time for us to, get back on the right track.
There you go.
I think you're right, and I think a lot of fans here are kind of terrified because of what they saw with Robert Griffin III. I don't know that that's fair. You know what I mean? But
I don't think it is.
Do you? I'm guessing you watched some of Robert when he was breaking into the league. Do you think there's like who would you compare Jaden Daniels to as far as previous quarterbacks?
That's tough because I think Jaden is still in the developing stage of who he can become as a quarterback. His first year at LSU, you seen that drop back, and 2 seconds he might have been gone.
Uh-huh.
He was going out of there. Last year, it was a lot different. It was, I'm going to hit that back foot, bam. I'm reading, 1, 2 is not there. Okay, I'm out of here. So he's still developing. Once he gets that, I think that third option, I think he'll be even a better quarterback, and because he throws a great ball. I think he's shown that over this training camp, because I've seen a couple of throws that he's made. It's like, wow, okay, Jay, I see you.
But people look at him, I guess because he's athletic, they want to automatically throw him in the same category with a Robert Griffin III, with a Lamar Jackson. But I think he's a better passer than either one of those guys. His pocket presence is amazing to me, But if you got a guy like that, like I've always had a problem with quarterbacks that can run, that want to not run because of what people say. Me and McNabb, Nav's my cousin, but we'd have arguments all the time. I'm like, you better run that damn football if you get that first down. Don't throw it and throw an interception or something. We're gonna have an issue on the sideline. But Jaden sticks to his keys. He throws the ball. If he has to run, he will. And I think he should stay that way.
You said it perfectly. His instincts is amazing in the pocket. And I think as a quarterback, that's one of your main tricks. You got to have really good instincts and understanding of your offensive line, who they are, how long that time, that time clock in your head that you may have about how long I may have in the pocket, because you're with those guys all the time. And you understand each and every last one of those guys. So, like I said, his ceiling is still raising. He's still rising.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. What do you think, Kevin? I imagine when you were playing, Belichick made you guys play in the preseason no matter what. What do you think of fewer and fewer people playing in the preseason anymore?
It's what the league is going to. And you can't argue with it, but at the same time, that's why teams have slow starts to the start of the season. It's when I worked with the Giants for 2 years ago for about a month, and we played the Bengals. And in playing the Bengals, Joe Burrow didn't play, Jamar Chase didn't play the whole preseason, and a lot of their starters. And I'm saying to myself, this team is going to have a really slow start to the season because nobody has that timing down yet. And sure enough, they didn't start the season well at all. Now they finished it great because they started gelling throughout the course of the season. But that's what all this is about. Is but at the same time, I understand coaches trying to protect their players and keep them from injury.
See, the same thing for me is like I look at it where I still tell people you can't get ready for football without playing football. And we've had a lot of guys here on defense not playing. And to be honest with you, like you said, they have a slow start. And if you mess around and have some injuries with a slow start, you may not be able to come back from it. When Joe Burrow and all those and Chase and all those guys, they had exceptional talent. They were able to overcome it. Sometimes you can't overcome that. So you got to be careful when you look at it when the first 4 games are going to be looking like preseason.
Right. Yes.
Hey,
indeed.
Kevin,
exactly
one more for you before we let you go. And this one you're probably not going to be expecting. Another LSU guy. I got to ask you for a scouting report. The Commanders just traded for Cade York, who was the kicker for the Tigers. Do you know Cade? What are we getting in Cade York?
Kickers, man, they're psycho. I'm sorry, they are. Great guy, great kid. Hey man, stop that, man. You know how kickers are. But he's an awesome guy, man. He's no different from any other kicker. Once he gets into that groove, man, he's a really good kicker.
Dude, Kevin, so we looked this up. Obviously, Kevin is on the coaching staff at LSU. We looked this up. So Cade York kicked for 3 years at LSU. One thing, it tells you something when a kicker is coming out of school early. That's pretty damn good. He was a 4th rounder by Cleveland. So his junior year at LSU, he made 39 of 39 extra points. His sophomore year at LSU, he made 36 of 36 extra points. Now, Kevin, his freshman year was 2019. That offense was pretty good. How many extra points do you think he attempted that year?
Ooh, too many. For his
Yo, 93.
Oh, so that's 93 touchdowns, brother.
That's crazy.
No, listen. I can tell you the spring of 19 when we was practicing, and we finished spring, and I go back to Karen Crew, and guys are asking me, man, how we going to be this year, man? How we going to be? And all I can tell them, we're going to be very different than what you have seen from LSU of old. There ain't gonna be too many run plays. Gonna be a lot of. It's like, huh? I'm like, you know what? Check back with me in the camp. And camp came. I'm like, oh yeah, we good. We good. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that team was truly just a joy to watch.
That's a lot of damn touchdowns.
That was so much fun. Kevin, we always appreciate you joining us, man. We'll be rooting for the Tigers all fall.
Always, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Kevin Falk, just an all-time good guy, running backs coach for LSU.
That dude was a badass in high school, college, and the pros.
3-time Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, if you need evidence of his badassery, look at his profile picture on the LSU coaching page. That ain't exactly warm and friendly, is it? he looks like he's about to truck somebody. Nobody go anywhere. John Keim at 11.
Hey, it's Brian Mitchell here. You've heard me talk about FanDuel a lot, America's #1 sports book. Well, we have something a little different for you now. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/Brian to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 106.7 Fan. You have to be 21 years old and present in Virginia. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after a free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BMitch and Finlay, 106.7 The Fan. Listen, this stream has its own world, and I appreciate that. I respect organic communities, particularly when they're a little weird, like this one tends to be. That said, I've never seen what just happened.
What happened?
I don't know. We're not actually streaming, but like the logo is up.
Uh-huh.
And Jeff is trying to get a fishing date in the chat. Is that accurate, Jeff?
No, it's not.
It's kind of accurate.
That is not accurate.
Kind of accurate.
I didn't initiate none of this, man.
There's a whole bunch of dudes trying to go fishing this afternoon because they realize there's a Nats game and we're off early. And Jeff's like, Jeff's like, yo, I'm off at 12:30.
Hey, don't leave me.
JP is a hater. JP is a hater. You mad because nobody want to go fish with you, JP?
No. So our guy Tay W, who always listens, we appreciate you, Tay, says, beautiful day to go fishing. Jeff, responding as 106.7 The Fan, says, that might be the move, Tay. And then Tay says, what time are you off? And Jeff says, we off at 12:30.
Jeff, what JP said is exactly what's going on. We're trying to get a fishing date.
I was supposed to be playing. Jeff. I was supposed to be playing golf with two guys.
Yo, you said that. We never agreed to any of that.
Yeah, because normally when you start talking about golf, we normally say no because you can't play.
Well, Jeff, I will happily play golf with you.
I asked y'all 2 weeks ago, and y'all said that may be a plan. Y'all,
maybe a plan.
Yeah,
maybe a plan. You know what that means? That means nope. There's no way possible.
Jeff,
that's fine. I'm gonna go play by myself then.
Jeff, if don't do that.
Pause, dog.
if we were in the studio, I would have played with you today. Seriously.
Jeff, when I say yes to something, that's only about 60% certain.
No, that's about 45%.
Yo, when I say maybe to something,
that's 0%.
That's a no for most people. Top of your head, Brian. What NFL head coach is on the hottest seat? Who's on that wood stool with tacks on it?
Top of my head right now, I'm gonna go right to Dallas.
McCarthy?
Oh yeah.
Hard to think otherwise. As
long as Bill Belichick is still out there, Jerry is the guy he is, McCarthy's in trouble.
I agree with that. Top of my head, I oddly think the whole NFC East. If the Eagles start poorly, if the Eagles start 2-4, I'm not expecting them to, but if they did, and then you look at their last,
everybody but this building here
in the NFC East, yeah, I think Daboll gets the season no matter what up there.
Well, I think that it's the person that's on the hot seat in New York is a GM.
Yeah, I agree. B, just the Eagles' schedule. They open in Brazil against the Packers. They are slight favorites in that game.
That would probably be a good place to start.
Then they're home against Atlanta, at New Orleans, at Tampa, Cleveland. I mean, there's no maybe Atlanta at home. We don't really know what Atlanta's going to be, but like they don't have a game where I would expect them to be a significant favorite until the Giants week 6. Like if they start and it looks a little up and down, I don't know, man. That's a really interesting situation right there.
Yeah, but I think it's more Dallas.
I think it's Dallas for sure. The threat of Belichick looming is so interesting. I don't.
But will Jerry really want to have a guy like Belichick coaching? He had a problem with somebody that acts just like Bill.
Parcells. Right?
Yes.
Bill's mentor.
So I don't know if Jerry really wants to do that because he's going to get, once he signed that contract, he's going to get told some stuff like, I need you to not be in the locker room.
Have you watched Hard Knocks? The Bears one that's going on right now?
Check that one out.
So PFT was on it, which was kind of cool. But Eberflus, the Bears' current head coach, he's trying like hell to be this like, have you ever seen, it was like, I think it was a Saturday Night Live sketch where it's like the mom gets remarried and the stepdad tries to be like real cool with the kids instead of being a father figure. Like he lets them have beer and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Eberflus has that vibe. Like he's trying to be everybody's buddy. And it's just like awkward to me. Like some of it is clearly for the cameras. Like Eberflus is a defensive guy. He keeps having these like weekly meetings with Caleb for them to watch film. It's like Caleb's watching film with the quarterback's room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I see that as a good thing though.
Do you?
Like a defensive-minded coach, looking at film with his quarterback, you can let him know what the defenses are trying to do to him. So that, like I always say, it's like when you study the defense, you also got to study what you're doing. So that's cool if it's really what he's doing instead of just playing up for the camera.
Hot seat. Caleb Williams carries a purse around in the facility.
Hot seat? What do you mean?
Maybe his purse is on the hot seat.
Nah.
Have you seen the bag he's carrying
I've
around?
seen some of the little highlights that they show in some little clips. But
this is not like Jeff's weird.
Because when they was talking to him, he got up
bag.
and he grabbed it and walked off. Yeah, I saw that.
It's a look. I'm an old man now. I don't judge what young men do. But that's a hell of a look, B.
Yeah.
Jeff, would you carry you're fond of carrying purses. Would you carry the purse that Caleb's carrying?
Jeff carries a strap. What you call it things, Jeff?
Purse.
I carry
it's not a purse.
I carry a satchel. It's like now mine is more of a backpack. A mini
but
backpack.
It's like one, like a weird one. The one that go like over your
across
body.
The storage is in between your boobs, Jeff.
Yeah, that's because my stomach too big. Like once I lose my stomach, it'll be down there. But all I'm saying is I don't carry a purse. Like I don't carry a bag like with my arm extended down by my knees and stuff.
Have you seen the bag Caleb's carrying, Jeff?
No, I'm actually Googling it now. Caleb Williams purse.
It's a look, dude. It's a look.
Bag.
John Keim joins us next.
This sports update is brought to you by Verizon. The Commanders making moves this morning, sending a conditional 7th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns for kicker Cade York. York is a 23-year-old out of LSU who was a Browns 4th-round pick in 2022. He went 24 for 32 in 2022 kicking, but was initially cut by the Browns prior to the 2023 season. He did not play in an NFL game last year. Now, with that trade, the Commanders have released kicker Riley Patterson, who struggled mightily in 2 preseason games prior. They have also signed safety Sheldrick Redwine, who most recently played for Dan Quinn in Dallas. And last night, the Nationals got a 3-run home run from Luis Garcia Jr. in a 6-1 win over the Rockies. The two are back at it today, a 105 first pitch, and you can listen to it right here on The Fan. Right now at Verizon, new and existing customers can get the amazing iPhone 15. Enjoy tons of storage for the ballpark picks this summer. There's a deal out there for everyone at Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store and get your new iPhone 15 today. From the Krupp Medcalf 5-Star Sports Desk, this is Adam Pohl on The Fan.
All right, last couple of weeks, training camp schedules have been early mornings, and then practice is breaking right around now. We haven't been able to have our friend Mr. John Keim in his normal spot, but things are kind of settling down into a regular season schedule, and John Keim joins us now. What's up, dude? How are you?
What up, guys?
We're doing well. I mean, I guess we can start with the news of the day. Of course, John Keim is the Commanders insider for ESPN, and you can check him out at the John Keim Report on YouTube as well. Kicker, they traded for one. What do you make of Cade York? So long, Riley Patterson.
Well, I know my son in Ohio, who is a Browns fan, complained about him every week 2 years ago. That's what I know. He's got a big, strong leg. So I think he's a guy that is worth a shot at getting a conditional 7th-round pick. I don't know the conditions, but, obviously they're typically playtime related. But, I mean, he was good enough to be drafted. And, I think he's worth a shot. I mean, they have to do something. And, I mean, Riley Patterson just didn't look good this summer. We watched him in practice. I mean, it was very inconsistent at best. And he had a decent track record. So you never know with kickers, but I do think York is worth a gamble on because he does have that strong leg. And so, if he hits, then you've got your guy for a little while. And if he doesn't, then you got to find another guy.
He was like 160 something. Out of 160 something tries in college, he missed 2 or 3 extra points.
Extra points, yeah.
How accurate is he with the kicks? What's your son say about the kicks?
So, as a rookie, he was 24 out of 32. The problem was he's just very inconsistent, and that's how like with kickers, you could if you make a couple more a year now, you look like you're pretty decent, but those numbers aren't great. But the troubling part was like between 30 and 39, he only made 9 out of 12, and that's where like you've got to
miss those.
No, you can't. And I know, like, I will say, though, again, he's got a strong leg. I think in his first game, he made a 58-yard game-winning kick to beat Carolina. So, and then after that, it was just really, I think, their thinking was you had your guy now. And then after that, it was just really inconsistent. And then Dustin Hopkins goes there and, becomes the guy. And so but what I know, BMitch, is as a rookie, he was inconsistent. But again, he's got that strong leg. And punting, kicking, those things take time to develop in the NFL. So you don't know when a guy is going to click with it. And so you're going to take a chance on a guy with a strong leg. It's just the same thing with a guy, position player, going to take a chance on size and speed all the time to see if you can get that guy. If that clicks for him, then they've got a guy for a while.
Talking with our friend John Keim here on the BetQL guest line. You can follow John at John_Keim, Keim. The kicker thing's been a problem. They thought they had answered it with McManus,
right.
And then whatever happened with McManus, they had to move forward. Like, they've kind of been in scramble mode. I don't know about York. I checked in with somebody from Cleveland this morning, and they were like, he looked pretty bad this summer. So we'll see. I think there's a reason it's a conditional 7th.
Correct. And listen, I don't necessarily think, I don't sit here and say the search is over. You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't come in and do anything, if he comes in and looks really bad, you can still claim a guy next week. I mean, You know what I mean? And so but I do think like they had to look for something else, and they're going to have to continue. Like, I do know that, I had heard the same thing, like in practice they're, kind of inconsistent, but he made 2 in a game. So we'll see. And, but yeah, I don't consider this necessarily, okay, search is over, next position. I think he's got to come in here and he still has to prove himself for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, this time of year is like projection season, and everybody's trying to, I'm sure, like, I go to the grocery store, I'm sure the same thing happens to you. Oh, how do they look? How do they look? And I think it's really tough, because if you want to go off the numbers last year, pretty much across the board suck, right?
Yeah.
But this team is dramatically different. How do you answer the simple grocery store question, John? How do they look?
Well, first of all, people do ask me when I go to the grocery store, they say, hey, what does JP think? How do they look? So we do have that in common. But the thing that I will always say, like, we can look at the roster, we can look at the names, you can make your judgment on what you think of that particular player. What we don't know yet is, well, first of all, there's a couple things. One, I think we can all agree that the vibe out there is dramatically different and better. And how much difference does that make, right? How much difference is it the fact that these guys like being out there, like being together? What difference will that make? Then, more importantly, the coaching aspect. How much, will that make a difference, from game planning to, defensive schemes to the way they're going to try and apply pressure, et cetera. So those are the things that we still don't know. I kind of look at this team, you go in the off season or going into training camp, like, it kind of has that, the roster looks like, and with some improvements, you look like, okay, 7-win team, right? You kind of go to that point, but the unknown can push that higher. Like, what impact does it have on them? How quickly does Jaden Daniels become a more of an impact player, or can they do things to maybe, help him develop into one, right? Not having to rely on him. And those are the things, like, what's the impact of the run game? We don't know, because we didn't see it last year, and we don't know what it's going to look like this year. We know they're going to try it more. How much does that help? How much better is the defense? I mean, you can't be worse, and they won't be worse, but how much better is it? Is it enough to offset some of what they don't have? Because listen, man, we still have questions about the outside corners, like, whether it's how big a concern it is, but I think they still have to answer questions during the regular season. And we don't know, like, the offensive line is new, and, how is the tackle play going to be? What's the impact on the scheme and the coaching and the quarterback play on them? Because there were times, like, Jaden Daniels dropped back 15 times, wasn't sacked. There were definitely times guys are beat and the ball is out. Like, he should have been, he wasn't even hit on some of these plays where guys are beat because of how quickly he got rid of the ball. Now, will that continue in the regular season? So there's just a lot to still be determined. And I think the intangible part is the part that, what's the impact of all of that?
This is the question I want to know. We talk about the quarterback and the offense all the time. What's the major concern other than that on the defense side? Because I know we keep saying the secondary. I think I look back to last year, there was no pressure outside or inside.
Right. listen, if you can apply pressure, you know that it changes things. The other thing too, BMitch, with the secondary, I like the safeties. I mean, so you kind of have to, really it's about the outside corners. Like, we know that they have to answer those questions, but what is the impact on possibly better rushes or also better disguised coverages? Like, we haven't seen that yet, right? And we didn't see a lot of it last year. So that can cause a quarterback to hold just a little bit longer, right? And then can you force them into some mistakes? And maybe you're not the greatest statistically, but can you do what they did in Dallas, which is create takeaways? And so that comes with applying pressure. And they don't have Micah Parsons, but I think they do have coaches who know how to try to scheme it better to apply that. Too often the last few years, it was, hey, here's the 4 number 1 picks, go get them, fellas, and they did.
Yeah, totally.
And so I think like that is a big part of the puzzle here. Is like what's and I know like Dorrance Armstrong, Farrell, Dante Fowler, like those guys aren't like considered like elite pass rushers, but they are pros, and Armstrong can help better than what they had last year after the trade, and in some cases before the trade. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think that part is not to be determined. I do think like there's going to be an impact on that, but how much of one is what we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, to me, the outside corners are the ones that they still have to answer. And the other part is like, we're watching them in the preseason and seeing certain things. Well, is that what they're going to do, or is it what they're trying to see what they can do?
Yeah. I feel like, I'm curious if you agree with this, specific to the pass rush. I think the floor of the pass rush is higher because I think it will be more cohesive. I think they'll rush as a group more. And I think there will be more schematic ways to generate pressures, right?
Yeah.
So I think the floor goes up. I just don't know what the ceiling is. And I don't know, dude, like if you look at Vegas numbers, or these are, I guess these are actually offshore books. I don't think like DraftKings offers this stuff, but the sack totals you can bet on, kind of remarkable. Washington's is the same this year as it was last year. And it's like 37.5, something like that.
Which what do they have?
It's bottom 5 in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think that I get the excitement around Luvu and all these things, but still I'm not expecting there to be like this out unless Armstrong proves that with more snaps, more playing time, he can become a double-digit guy.
Right. And I don't know that that's who they expect him to be. And you might be surprised to learn that I haven't looked at the offshore books just yet.
But that's what I'm here for, Johnny.
Yes, I know.
You break down the tape. I'll check out what's going on in the Caymans.
There you go. I do like, I mean, you're losing Montez Sweat is a big deal, right? And that will still sting to them. Because it's hard to replace guys like that. And, is Armstrong going to be that guy? Well, that's not necessarily who he's been, but he does give you some versatility and the ability to rush inside at times as well. And I think what's the impact then on Payne and Allen inside? And because they both went down, they both had their numbers, they weren't as effective last year for whatever reason. And part of that is the synchronicity of that group up front, and it wasn't there. And it never really was there long enough, right? So how much does that help them? Or how much can they create situations for them to be in one-on-ones to do some damage? I think that's where I'm going to look as much as anybody, because that's where those are their 2 best linemen. And Luvu's impact, I think, will be pretty solid for sure. But the number, I think if you get similar number of sacks, but you apply better pressure, then that's a win, right? I think it's as much the pressure rate and what you're doing, forcing the quarterbacks to do. Are they comfortable back there? Despite, I've seen guys get sacks who don't apply a lot of pressure otherwise, right? So I think I'd look at the pressure rate as well. And again, like, to me, a big key of that is the ability to disguise coverage, because when you can do that, now you have a better chance to let those guys get home.
Yeah, I'm the pressure needs to be more consistent.
Correct.
Because when you watch quarterbacks drop back and pat, and then they move and pat again, too much. Yeah. And if we're going to, like, I know we went through our little moments of, oh, we got 4 first rounders. I don't care what round they drafted in. If they're not making pressure, they need to know about it.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, I wanted to ask you, with the, I don't know if you've seen any of this, but a lot of folks, there's some anxiety brewing about Kingsbury's offense based on what we've seen in 3 drives with Jaden Daniels at the helm. I think it's a little premature for that.
Just a little bit.
Where do you, because I think what we've seen in practice looks a lot different than necessarily what we've seen on the field in the preseason. What do you make? We get to talk to Cliff today. What do you make of Cliff as play caller?
Well, I think he evolved in Arizona. I know that part of the knock there was second half of the year that people there felt like they didn't adjust well enough in the second half of the seasons, and their typically offense would go down. Now, some of that could also be related to quarterback health. It could be related to maybe the quarterback, maybe they didn't know it well enough to do a lot of adjustments, based on what we've heard about Kyler Murray, right? So I don't know, but I do know that people that I talked to, defensive coach of the league, felt like he had evolved. What we also know, and they said it in the spring, and Brian Robinson talked about, they're going to be a lot more no huddle, and you look at his numbers there, and they ran a lot of no huddle, hurry up stuff, right? So I would expect that, and I think the big thing was with the moving of Terry McLaurin around, and I know there was that one stat, but I'm not going to go, we both know they have different plans for Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
And
I think also, didn't Cliff say, well, when I first went to Arizona, I just had Texas Tech to fall back on. He didn't know anything else. Now he has the influence of these other guys that have been head coaches and coaching in the NFL, where he feels his offense is going to be different. They have a different influence. Sure. And I think that right there is going to help his offense. And also it's going to throw a monkey wrench in the people that think they automatically know what Cliff is trying to do.
Sure. Well, that's the other part. Like Brian Johnson and Anthony Lynn, they're coming from different perspectives. And so what is their influence? The other way he evolved there too is the usage of tight ends. In Arizona, they started using a lot more 2 tight end looks, which I think we're going to see a lot of this year, and the run game as well. And I think those things, the combination of all that, but if people think like they're showing all that they're going to do, like that's kind of silly. Like that's never happened in the preseason. I know some teams show a little bit more and you see a reverse and all that and think, oh my God, but that's not really showing a lot, right? It's, there's still a lot remember back in 2012 when Robert was here and, we watched him in the preseason, we watched him all summer. And then in the first game, they looked dramatically different than they had when we watched them. So there's still way more to learn about what Kingsbury is going to do, given the influence of Anthony Lynn, who is a respected voice, and given the influence of Brian Johnson, who also I would consider a respected voice, who people in Philly kind of feel like he got thrown under the bus there. So,
100%.
So I think there's again, that's the part about all of this. There's so much more to learn about the impact of this group together, not just Kingsbury running the show. If he was a head coach, maybe it's a little bit different. But I think there's still definitely more to learn about this. And I also, again, the impact of like Jaden Daniels, what's his learning curve with all this? I mean, we know what we've heard about the study habits, et cetera, which is all, you can see it already that he feels like he's further ahead. So what is he going to be able to handle? That also allows Kingsbury to expand his offense.
I'm with you, man. Everything could look incredibly different. And I think some of the looks, some of the formations that we've seen, I think there's going to be a lot of variety.
Yeah.
And I think we just got to chill a little bit with the some of the rise of analytics as people start applying start applying numbers to stuff where the sample isn't.
When I start seeing a helmet on those numbers, then I'm gonna care about it 100%.
Yeah, I think there's context is always needed, and if we see this in the first 4 games of the regular season, that's different than in the first 2 preseason games with a rookie quarterback. And again, I think the other, what also helps an offense. Guys who make big plays. So
sure. Yeah.
So you can do all this, and if Jaden Daniels goes out there and makes some big throws and big plays, like, all right. But I think there's just like, why would you go out right now and show all that you're going to do in a new situation? You're not.
Right.
You're just not.
Totally.
So
I've been quite impressed by Jaden. I cannot wait to see him in the regular season.
Yeah.
Do you think we see him Sunday night? I do not.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's much value in that. I mean, there's always value in playing a game. I just don't think that they're going to put him out there and put a lot of the starters out there, especially when there's some roster decisions. I think that they, I don't know how many you'd say that are on the line, but that they need to know more about.
Yeah,
and this is
sure.
a good chance for them to see it.
John, thank you for the
All right,
time, man.
appreciate it,
See you in
Jay.
a little bit.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, man.
That's our guy, John Keim. Give him a follow at John_Keim, Keim. I've known John a long time. I've always enjoyed working with him. Somebody else I've known for a long time that I've always enjoyed working with is Oarsman Automotive of Virginia. Seriously, I was thinking about this morning because I was on the phone with Biaggi this morning. Driving out to Ashburn today in my fourth different vehicle purchased from various Oarsman, Virginia stores. It's kind of wild when you think about how long we've been doing all this. Working with Oarsman, man, my wife drives a Sequoia. I drive the 4Runner now. We got both of those at Oarsman Fairfax Toyota. Prior to that, my wife was driving a GMC that we got at Oarsman Chevy Buick GMC in Alexandria. I go to these guys, these people, because they take care of us. And part of the way they take care of us, they got all the makes, all the models. You could buy a car anywhere. It's the people and the service that make a difference, and it's that Oarsman Lifetime Edge.
Yep, I absolutely love the Oarsman Lifetime Edge. That's why I've been buying cars from them, and I go there all the time. They give you up to $1,500 in extras, including a complimentary car wash with every scheduled maintenance. They give you loaner cars with every major maintenance and a lifetime engine guarantee. And this is the thing about when they give you that loaner car, all these other companies, they want you to pay for it. Oarsman takes care of it and say, hey, just bring the gas back wherever it's at. Don't worry about filling it up. And there's more good news. If you have a car to sell, go to Oarsman. They will pay you up to 125% of the Kelley Blue Book value, regardless of its make, model, or year. It's simple. At Oarsman, they like to keep their customers happy. So take it from JP and I to beyond satisfies Oarsman customers, and let's ride together.
This sports update brought to you by Floor and Decor. Unbeatable prices, unmatched in-stock selection. The Commanders have released kicker Riley Patterson, who struggled in 2 preseason games prior. They have also traded a conditional 7th-round pick to the Cleveland Browns for kicker Cade York, and they have signed safety Sheldrick Redwine, who most recently played for Dan Quinn in Dallas. And the Nationals get a 7-inning effort from Mitchell Parker in a 6-1 win over the Rockies. The Nats and Rockies today at 1:05 for the series finale. Listen to it here on The Fan. Floor and Decor has more styles of laminate, vinyl, tile, wood, and stone for anyone looking for the right look at the right price. Your next beautiful space is at Floor and Decor. From the Crop Medcalf 5-Star Sports Desk, this is Adam Pohl on The Fan.
Breaking news on The Fan. Source confirmed
Big
to
news.
me. This is the big one. Jahan Dotson traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington is sending Jahan and a 5th-round pick to Philly. In turn, they're getting a 3rd-rounder and 2 7ths back. This is pretty remarkable, folks. We've been talking about it plenty. I've been telling you there's no way this guy's getting cut, all those things you've heard. That was not it, but it has not seemed like it's going well. We discussed body language. We discussed lots of different things. Dotson, it hasn't really seemed like a fit throughout the summer. And if Dotson's an outside guy, he didn't seem like an outside guy in Cliff's system. Is he a slot guy? This is pretty significant. This is a 1st-rounder just a few seasons ago.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of picks that the amount of picks that Ron that are still left on this team is remarkable. It's also crazy to go back to what looked like such a promising.
It did.
I mean, his rookie season, he had 7 touchdowns.
It did. You look at it, 84 for over 1,000 and 11 touchdowns in 2 years.
Yeah.
But the ultimate thing is
now that's in 29 games.
No, still.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is people like to sit and they're overly concerned about where someone is traded. When a person doesn't fit your system and they may not be what you're looking for or how you're doing what you need them to do, you trade them to whoever. Because if you're going to get better by the trade, the picks you're picking, you don't care about what somebody else does. We got to get over that thing about, in the division, who cares?
Philly's aggressive. Peters is aggressive. I mean, think about it. They've already worked. They did a draft day trade earlier this year. I mean, this is breaking news. It's a big deal. I can't say I'm stunned by this. I mean, we've talked about it. We did our best to kind of avoid naming names. And I think nobody wants there to be bad blood. I think Dan Quinn went out of his way to try to talk about how much he likes Dotson after the Miami game. But I think these guys showed up wanting him to be
compete. They wanted him to be what they expected. And, we all make comments and we say things. I think somebody on the thread had said, I think it was like last week or something after Dan spoke. They were like, well, probably trying to make him look better so they could trade it. And bam, lo and behold, what happens?
Yeah. I mean, now the teams are officially announcing it. If you look at the Eagles now, dude, you're talking about A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dotson as like a wide receiver 3. I think Jahan Dotson, if he's going to – listen, 1st-rounders generally don't get traded in their 3rd season if everything's going well. I think there's got to be some looking in the mirror for Jahan. I think the one big question with him coming out of college was, could he get off press coverage in the NFL? I'm not so sure that question has been answered. And now, now he's going to have a better offense to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But this just continues this trend of the Rivera picks when they were smarter than everybody else and they knew better than everybody. And you don't want to belabor it. Like, what's done is done, and these guys didn't make the picks. Peters did not make any of these picks.
Not at all.
But there was a time when everybody was saying how great Washington's decision to trade back was because they were able to get Howell and Dotson.
Yeah.
And so Washington had the 11th pick. And
that's why I always say, Jay, it takes more than 1 year. We got to see.
They had the 11th pick. They traded back to 16. At 11, the Saints took Olave, who looks like a stud. At 12, the Lions took Jamison Williams, who, has shown some real flashes, but was coming back from a big injury. 13, the Eagles took Jordan Davis. 14, and this one is just a killer miss. The Ravens took Kyle Hamilton, a safety. It's just all very, very significant.
Well, I did listen, man. We've watched the play this offseason. I've watched different things, and a lot of stuff told me something was going on or something wasn't right. And the ultimate thing is, you got a new staff comes in. They're going to make moves based off of their mindset, what they see going forward. And I don't care if you're first rounder from another regime or not. They have to make the decisions. Jahan is going to a place where, he has receivers on that squad, 2 of them, where he should be able to get a lot of one-on-one matchups. And this is a point where you look inside. Okay. You don't look to point fingers at anybody. You look inside of you and you say, what can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again? Or what can I do to make sure I become an asset to whoever I'm going to? That's all he has to do.
Dude, I just like that it's proactive. These guys, Dan Quinn said earlier, there are no sacred cows. There's a lot of organizations where a first-round pick, moving him out for a third rounder 2 years later, wouldn't be allowed, wouldn't be accepted. But they are tearing this thing down and rebuilding it how they want. And I think there is real value in that. I do think it's a pretty big L for Washington. There's no other way to look at it, but the L isn't on the guys running the operation now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big damn deal. If you just got in your car, Jahan Dotson traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Phone lines open now, 800-636-1067. We'll be right back. BMitch and Finlay, 1067 The Fan. Oh boy, busy day here on The Fan. Jahan Dotson, if you're just getting in your car, Jahan Dotson has been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. It tells you a lot about Jahan Dotson's perceived value around the league right now. Mm-hmm. He has up to 3 years remaining on that contract. He definitely 2, and there's a third-year player option, right? Yeah. A team option, rather, because he's a first-round pick. Up to 3 years of control at a very muted salary for a wideout.
Yeah.
And they had to send a 5th to get a 3rd back. Dude, that you have to also send a 5th is pretty wild.
I don't know. I mean,
it's got 3. I'm just saying, it says a lot about what the league thinks.
It could be the league, or it could be that this team wanted to get a deal done, and they were willing to do whatever they can to make sure they can move forward. Now, I am sitting here with a mindset that I don't think this is over. I don't think it's a final move. I think that something else is coming.
What else do you think?
I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that they didn't do this just to stand pat
at the receiver position.
Yeah, I think it's something else.
Would you want them to do something else?
If they feel that they can, yes, go for it. Listen, bro, I'm not going to sit up here and question the people that are paid to do it. And if they did this move to make sure they can move forward, because that's probably the guy with the most value that they could have gotten something for it, then you make that move and you go forward with it. Listen, I have said it over and over again. I care about this team becoming good again. I'm not tied at the hip to no damn body on this team if they can do something, make a move and get somebody and make it better. Because it's been bad for a long damn time. So if the moves they make are going to make it better, go for it.
I mean, if you were going to make a move for another wideout, one, you clear the space, and then you have an extra 3rd and the 2 7s if you want to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's very interesting for you to say that, because that's out of character for you, and everybody kind of went crazy on the last time you talked about. Maybe
I can care less what they say. Like I told you before, one thing about me, when I got a feeling and I know what I know, I don't give a damn about the people that don't know what the hell they're talking about 99% of the time.
I looked this up. The trade, when the Saints went up to 11, Washington traded back to 16, 2022 NFL draft, okay? Mm-hmm. New Orleans Saints took Chris Olave, Ohio State, wide receiver at number 11. Washington, in turn from that trade, got to take Jahan Dotson at 16. Mm-hmm. They also got an extra 3rd rounder. They took Brian Robinson. Extra 5th rounder, they took Sam Howell. And I think a 6th, they got Cole Turner. Mm-hmm. Dotson is now gone, traded to Philly. Howell gone, traded to Seattle. Robinson firmly on the team. Cole Turner fighting for a roster spot. I'd keep him, but that's up to the powers that be. In 2 seasons, if you just stay at the pick, B, in 2 seasons in New Orleans, Chris Olave has 159 catches and 2,165 yards.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you could have taken Kyle Hamilton.
But see this, like, and we say it all the time. When a new staff come in, they're not tied to anybody here. But when they rolled in here, who did they hook anchors with? Brian Robinson. Because that dude brings you effort and competition and a mindset every day. You have to do that. If you don't do that, then a lot of times people listen, man. I think it was when Chick asked him, did they watch body language? He said yes. Body language speaks. And he's not the only one with the body language that was showing the body language that was not a positive. Anybody else, you might have some worries.
Phone lines are open. 800-636-1067. 800-636-1067. They took an L on this trade. Could it be part of something bigger? Maybe. But it also tells you what the value was around the NFL when a first-round pick that has proven he can play at this level. His rookie year, he was pretty good. A first-round pick traded away with up to 3 years of team value, and you got to send a 5th just to get a 3rd back. This is wild. Let's let Toothpick kick us off. What up, Pick?
Hey, when you land and the first thing you hear is Jahan Dotson's gone, it makes you want to get back on the plane and turn around. But like D said, this don't seem like it's over. It's got to be a little bit more to it. A third rounder, 2 7th rounders. It's like we stockpiling something to make another move. So this is chess, not checkers. You know what I mean?
It might not be. Listen, it could be, but it could just be they want to get Jahan gone, frankly. Like, maybe they go get CeeDee Lamb. Maybe they go get Brandon Ayuk. I'm not sure any of that happens, right? Mm-hmm. It is interesting. Now, in the last few hours, they traded for a kicker and traded away Jahan Dotson. They are clearly taking care of family business. Mm-hmm. This is like the baptism scene in The Godfather, right? But we also have to prepare ourselves. This may just be a world where they wanted Dotson gone. Like, it might be that simple.
It could be.
But
I think the ultimate thing is he's gone. They made moves. And you have to worry about what they are trying to do. And we said it from the beginning. Everybody lost their damn minds when they brought Adam Peters in. We say they got the right guy first.
Yep.
Whatever he does, he does. At this point, if that's the guy that we all felt in the league say was the best out there, and you got this guy to come rebuild your team, you let him build your team. If you go out here and you get the best damn builder to build your house, and he starts building it, and he told you what the architect said and how he gonna do something. When he starts doing it, you can't say, no, I don't want that. Change up. No, this is their decision. Go with it.
Breaking news on the Fan. If you haven't heard, Jahan Dotson traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Taking your calls next.
This sports update brought to you by thewindowman.com, the educational window company. Well, we have Nationals baseball upcoming shortly with a 105 first pitch for the Nats and Rockies from Nats Park. Listen to it right here on The Fan. But what a day in Ashburn as the Commanders have made multiple trades within the hour. They have traded wide receiver Jahan Dotson, a former first-round pick of Washington, and a 2025 fifth-round pick to the Eagles for a third-round pick and 2 seventh-round picks, all in the 2025 draft. Now, earlier in the morning, they traded a conditional 7th-round pick in 25 to Cleveland for kicker Cade York. Washington then released kicker Riley Patterson, and they also signed veteran safety Sheldrick Redwine. But again, former first-round pick wide receiver Jahan Dotson has been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Superior fiberglass windows, 2 weeks only, $250 off every window at The Window Man. Now is the time to replace those drafty, cheap vinyl windows. Visit thewindowman.com for your free consultation. $250 savings per infinity. Replacement window only. Minimums and installation apply. From the Crop Medcalf 5-Star Sports Desk, this is Adam Pohl on The Fan.
BMitch and Finlay 1067 The Fan. Obviously, big breaking news on the program. Jahan Dotson traded to the Eagles. I don't think this is that hard to understand. I think you had a new regime show up. They're going to run a different offense. And what this regime cared most about was that everybody competed every day.
Yep.
So any thinking that, draft status or situation should place you above other players, I think was incorrect. Dan Quinn said, go back. It was, there are no sacred cows. Everybody's got to earn it, right? And then throughout training camp, you've heard us talk about it. And if you're skeptical that he will be able to produce on the field this fall, I think I understand the skepticism. But Dotson was outperformed by De'Ami Brown, certainly, and arguably Olamide Zaccheaus, OZ. And I think you've got a guy where maybe you don't love the competitive fire and a new regime, and you just want to get something for him.
Yeah, and it seems like that. But I think I'd much rather a crew come in, and if they don't see something working how they see fit, you make a move. You don't sit back and say, well, I got to just hold on. You make the moves according to what you see, because a lot of people would see things not going well but won't make a move.
Don't lie to yourself because of draft status.
Totally.
If you're in a bad relationship, get out of it. Don't just hang out because the guy has nice hair.
There you go.
I want to let the phone lines go. Landfill, make sure all the levels are set accurately. Let's go to line one. Rev T, what do you make of the Jahan Dotson trade?
Well, what I make of it is that, in the great words of the late Robin Hurst, gotta go. See, I ain't got no type of attachment to Jahan Dotson. Thank you for being the commander while you was here, but bye, Bama. And I'm all in with BMitch. If you could get better, if you got to make moves to get better, then get better then. I'm not caught up in all of these. Ain't none of these players did nothing for me lately. Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? Nothing, not a damn thing. But go out there and put up highlights and false hope. Man, we need to start winning up in this joint. And I mean start winning. We need to be start being feared in the NFC East. We need to be start being feared in the NFC. Hell, we need to be start feared in the NFL altogether. And if this what you got to do, if you got to get rid of old trash,
to find out if you got some new trash, then guess what, though? Keep changing the damn trash. I ain't never showed them my words with none of these Bammers. Y'all know who this is. The people's hype man. Red Feet. Bye, Bama. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
Thank you, Reverend.
All right, Rev.
Always appreciate you. I want to let the boys in the aquarium chime in. Phone lines are open. Jeff, Landfill, what do you make of this trade? This is obviously a really big deal.
My intuition was right, man. When I got my jersey and I seen the number 1, I knew something was going to happen. Hopefully,
you did say that.
Well, based on what you just texted us, I hear you gonna be the new receiver.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
That's going.
I didn't want to break the news, but you know that 4.2 running Jeff Walker, yeah,
4.220.
But yeah, now it's like I'm kind of surprised, but I'm not surprised because, like you said, JP, he's been outworked by De'Ami Brown, Alamide's a kid. So it's like I'm not surprised, and we just gotta. I wish him the best. You know, I don't got no animosity towards him. I hate that he went to
on
Philly.
A personal level, I like Jahan. He was always cool, always nice.
Listen, I can tell you one thing: he's going to a spot where the questions and the assumptions here, those better be alleviated and eliminated up there.
Yeah, because
they'll let you know. Like I'm looking at people saying they blaming everybody but anything that he's done. Oh, this person hated him. That nobody hated him. People are here to win games, and sometimes you got to make tough decisions. But in that town up there, don't produce, and see how different it is.
What's different though is he's coming to Philly for the cost of a 3rd round pick, and he's the 3rd wide receiver. It's just a different expectation.
Then Philly, no. You're a 1st round pick that came from Penn State. They expect you to put the ball.
We'll find out. Keep these phone lines going. Landini, what was your reaction? I mean, obviously a surprise here.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise. I knew the Commanders giving your number away meant your days were numbered. I just guessed with the wrong receiver. Yeah, he just hasn't been particularly good, and those Ron Rivera 1st round picks have just have been brutal.
I mean, dude, CK, the cluster buster, actually just tweeted this out. The last 10 years 1st round picks. You ready, B?
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Sheriff.
Okay.
Josh Dotson.
Sheriff was a plus. Dotson was a minus. Dotson. D-O-C.
Yeah.
T-S-O-N.
John Allen, Deron Payne, Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, Jamin Davis, Jahan Dotson, Emmanuel Forbes, Jaden Daniels. They got to stop drafting receivers with names that start with D-O.
Ron Rivera got outdrafted by Bruce Allen. Let that sink in.
Whoa.
Damn. Oh, man. That hits pretty hard, Landfill. Ooh, Landfill, you won't tweet that.
I'm 100% going to tweet it.
All right. It's her birthday. Mama Stu, is this the birthday present you were hoping for?
No, not at all. I'm kind of taken aback, but at the same time, like I work in corporate America. I've been in corporate America over 20 years, and it happens. You know what I mean? The thing that suck about it is he got traded in the division. That's the one thing. But at the same time, when you have a new group of people coming in and they want to set up their things, like y'all been saying all morning, that's what it is, you know. And so I wish him the best. And in this league, it's production, you know, availability and production. And clearly, you know, he wasn't having a good camp. So I wish him the best. I'm going to hate it if he scores a touchdown against us. That's for sure. But I wish him the best, and it is what it is. I love you guys. Thank you for the shout out this morning. I appreciate it.
All right.
Happy birthday,
care,
Mama.
Happy
Appreciate
birthday.
you listening. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Jackson is in Baltimore. What up, Jack?
What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
Yeah, I'm indifferent about this trade, man. I don't mind giving up on a guy that's not your guy. I understand that's how it works. I hate the fact that it happened the way that it did. I hate the fact that Chris Olave is sitting right there, and these guys want to be the smartest people in the room and trade back and not just miss out on Chris Olave, but Kyle Hamilton, among others. You went down the list of what they've done with those picks that they got in return. Brian Robinson's really all they have at this point. My biggest gripe is trading him within a division. It just reeks of they just want to get him out of there at all costs, and that may be the case. I just don't like the idea that you now have to see this dude twice a year in a potent offense with a bona fide quarterback that can throw the ball all over the field. I'm not sold that all of a sudden that this automatically means that they're going to go get a new wide receiver. I mean, I've been a fan of this team my entire life. Very rarely have I said we're the lucky ones. I just can't fathom something positive coming out of this. I get the new regime. I get all of that. But I'm in the business of they have to show me, and I get we're at the beginning, but I have to see something come out of this. It's just a shame that we have a rookie quarterback who's now losing weapons because Jahan couldn't live up to what he was supposed to be.
Thank you for the call, man. That's a good call. There's something interesting here, and you wonder how much of this is competition driven, and if Jahan didn't think he should have to compete for his spot. And then say what you will, he has not shown it in games, period. But Diami has had a good camp and has looked good in the preseason. And life's about – everybody says opportunity knocks. That is BS. Nothing knocks. You got to kick down doors. And this is the kind of camp where Diami has kicked a few down. If you're just getting in your car right now, you missed the news. Jahan Dotson has been traded, Commanders' first-round pick in 2022. I guess he was actually a football team pick, right? No, 2-2-22. He was the first ever Commanders draft pick. Yeah. The first ever Commanders draft pick. 2 seasons in Washington. Really showed a lot as a rookie. 7 touchdowns. Really good in the red zone. Really good catch radius. The numbers kind of slumped last year. I think you could say there were some catching issues, which I never expected because the kid had great hands in college. Traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in the division. This is a former first rounder, so they got 3 years of team control on this dude at a very modest salary.
Yeah.
And they had to give up a 5th so they could get a 3rd and a pair of 7ths back. Jahan Dotson, now an Eagle. We are taking your calls. Let's go to Vince in Accokeek. What up, Vinny?
What's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
I kind of relate to the last caller a lot. Not that I'm sad at all. I mean, Jahan wasn't good to me, and we've sucked so long, and we've sucked as long as I've been a fan that I don't have time to watch trash people be trash people. Not that he's a trash person as a human being. I mean, as a football player, he was trash last year. So I'm fine with moving him on. I believe you should cut cancer out right away. I believe you should stop smoking crack immediately that you figure out you're a crackhead. You should stop rolling down the hill once you know you're rolling down the hill. So move him, be gone with him. That's what we're doing. I want to still believe in AP. It's still early. I still think AP was the right guy. I'm kind of under the belief that I hope Brian is right and we have something else coming down the track, because my biggest trepidation, I don't have no problem moving him. It just sucks that we moved him in the division. Like, we couldn't move him nowhere else. It's not like Jahan is totally not a capable football player. He showed us in his rookie season, and I think moving into this offense where he will be hidden behind 2 number ones actually highlights him to be better. And we don't, from what I'm saying, we're not good in the secondary. So if I'm Jahan, I'm looking at my chops like I might suck the rest of the year, but I'm going to be good when I play the Redskins or the Commanders or whatever we call ourselves. So that's my only trepidation. I'm cool with trying to.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, because you're the second person to say this. When have we gone into a game and we saw other teams shaking in their boots because he was on the field? So why would you automatically? Everybody say, "Well, didn't trade to the division."
Because it's us. Only because it's us. If it was,
are we ever going to move forward in our thinking, or are we going to always be living in the past in our thinking?
I'm totally fine with moving forward. Like, I want to win. I don't care if we sign 12 aliens. If they're going to help us win, I want to win. Like, I'm 39
I'm with you on
years
that.
old.
I'm with you on that.
I've never seen us win, so I want to win by any cost. We could sign 12 Donald Trumps if they're going to win for us. I want to win, but I just like why in the division. Granted, like I said,
if the thing is setting the culture and Jahan wasn't for the culture, he can go. I'm tired of people who think they supposed to have something because they think they supposed to have it. If he didn't have the attitude, kick rocks, Jahan. I don't care about that. My only thing is I just wish we didn't move in the division. But clearly we need to get rid of cancer. And if the only way to get rid of the cancer was to move in the division, then so be it. I just hope that something else is coming down the pipe because I'm tired of sucking. And right now, it just feels like
I appreciate the call. Vince,
appreciate you, brother.
Vince, it's a good call, and we appreciate you listening and your passion. The other part of this, if you're just getting in your car, Jahan Dotson's been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think, by and large, most Skins fans aren't upset that he's been traded, but there is that question of in the division. If you're going to trade a guy, ideally you'd love to not trade him in your division, but that doesn't mean you can't do the trade, right? Mm-hmm. I think Jahan Dotson had a good rookie season, 7 touchdowns, real red zone threat. Last year, things went backwards. The entire offense went backwards. But I do wonder if there were some inabilities to get off the line of scrimmage against press coverage. And that was a question coming out of college, right? Philly, he's not going to be an outside wideout. When you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, you're going to be in the slot, sir.
Yeah.
And that might be a place he can thrive. Cliff Kingsbury's offense here, they're going to run a fair amount of 11, a fair amount of 12 personnel. When they're in 12 means you need 2 outside guys. It's going to be fascinating to see how this all shakes out. We got the phone lines open. Nate is in Silver Spring. What up, Nate?
Wow, man. I couldn't even believe it when I heard the news, but I actually love it, man. I don't mind trading them within the division. This shows me that Dan Quinn and AP, they not scared of nobody. And we are, and I don't know if y'all remember, but we always play the Eagles tough. We almost beat them twice last year, and then the year before that, and the year before that. So we're not scared of the Eagles. And this shows me that Dan Quinn means business. Nobody's safe. It's like Third Ward, Southeast, walking in there like nobody's safe in that locker room. And I love the message that it sent to the players. I love it. And this showing and he was missing in action last year. He can't get off jam coverage. So our cornerback's gonna know what to do against him. Just jam him up on the line, and we saving $4 million. So this just shows me that they're not playing no games, and this is also an indictment and a praise on Jaden Daniels because this shows me that he can elevate the wide receivers. It don't matter who's out there, and it's not like we traded Terry McLaurin. Like, come on now, man. It's like the guy he's 5'11", 182, and we saving $4.1 million. I'm with you, BMitch. We might be gearing up to get Ayuk or somebody else, but I don't care if we don't. You know, his production wasn't matching his salary. And when you're more trouble than you're worth, like you were saying, JT,
so
like we got wide receivers.
You're not wrong. The production wasn't there, but the salary is actually pretty easy to deal with at the receiver position. He's on a rookie deal still. The move wasn't about money. I want to be sure we understand that. I appreciate the call, Nate. It's a good call. Let's go to Dave in Woodbridge. Davey, what do you think of the Dotson trade?
I'm all good. I believe in this generation's new Bobby Beathard here. Let's give this man, let him have the keys and take off. I've been hearing rumblings on other shows about trading Dotson the last couple of days, and also the chance they may even cut him. So to get something of value in return, I'm happy. Now I know you mentioned about we traded down. You know, we could have had Olave, but look at all the moves. You know, we got Brian Johnson, we had Sam Howell, we got Cole Turner. But we traded
Brian Robinson.
We also traded Howell for additional picks. Now we're getting more picks. We're loading up.
Are you defending that trade at this point?
Yeah.
You're
we got
nuts.
More assets. Yeah, we swung and missed.
What assets? Dotson is now in Philly. Howell is now in Seattle. Olave looks like an all-pro. Kyle Hamilton is an all-pro.
So they were talking about Dotson potentially even being cut. So to get anything in return and to save some money, let's go get Ayuk. Now's the time to go get a guy with a big number, since our quarterback has a low cap hit. Let's go all in. Let's do it.
Thanks for the call, bud.
Hi, bro.
The last thing I expected was somebody to call in and defend and be excited about the trade where they traded out of 11 to 16, could have had Olave, could have had Kyle Hamilton, could have done a lot of things there and didn't. Woo! Phone lines are lit up. Stay there. We'll take your calls when we return. It's BMitch and Finlay.
This update brought to you by Prince George's Community College. A trade as the season gets closer for the Washington Commanders, sending wide receiver Jahan Dotson and a 5th-round pick in the 25 draft to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, in exchange, a 3rd-round pick and 2 7th-round picks in 2025 to the Commanders. Washington also makes a trade with the Cleveland Browns to acquire place kicker Cade York. He's got a huge leg. It comes for a conditional 7th-round pick. He's kicked a 70-yard field goal in warm-ups. Moments away pregame for Nationals versus Colorado Rockies. A chance to win the series if they can beat the Rockies today. It's going to be difficult. Patrick Corbin, 2-12 this season, faces off against right-hander Cal Quantrill. Yesterday, Luis Garcia Jr., 3-run homer in the 6-1 win. Power up your future with PGCC. Enroll in the tuition-free sustainable energy program and launch your career in renewable energy. Build your skills and join the eco-revolution. Visit www.pgcc.edu to get started today. I'm Byron Kerr on The Fan.
Big news in Washington, D.C. 2022 first-round pick, 16th overall pick, Jahan Dotson, first-rounder, out of Penn State, traded to the Philadelphia damn Eagles. All of the Jahan Dotson trade coverage on 106.7 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile, and you can get tons of benefits and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Check out the savings calculator to find out how much you can save. T-Mobile.com/switch. Brian, here's my stance. I like Dotson. I've seen him play well in the league. I think you might have to be creative in how you get him off the line of scrimmage. I do think press is a bit of a problem, but once he's running routes, he gets separation. I've seen it with my own eyes. I don't think it was a fit this year when the new crew got here and they wanted to challenge everyone. Think about it. Jaden Daniels, the number 2 overall pick, they even put him through the competition charade cycle. You know what I mean? Like, everybody had to work for this thing. I don't know that Jahan was thrilled by that idea. I don't know that Jahan was thrilled he was catching passes from Jeff Driscoll late in the second quarter of the first preseason game. I know I tweeted that out, and a whole lot of people took issue with me tweeting that out. You and I talked about not just one person, but people we saw having some body language issues. Yeah. I don't think any of those factors are should be forgotten in any of this.
None of them should be forgotten.
But he might go and play well for Philly, too.
He may. But then again, Adam Peters was brought here to build a roster the best way he knows how. And if he didn't fit Adam Peters' mindset or what he thought he should be, it's Adam Peters' choice to make this trade. What if he goes to Philly and play well? And what if what they decided to go with plays better? You mad? If what they decide to go with, whether it's what they have now or they try something else, and they play great, are you still going to be mad because he played okay somewhere else?
I think there are real reasons to be concerned about the Commanders' receiving depth after Terry McLaurin. Because now you lose Dotson. Listen, I've watched it with my own eyes. Diami has been really good all summer. He's really good. I've seen it. I've also seen Diami look good in the summer and then not translate to the field. So they're taking if there is not another move,
they're taking a flyer. But you already stated Olamides, Zacchaeus had played better.
You know what's funny?
Dotson has played better. Diami had played better. We're sitting here when we've been talking all training camp about which receivers were showing up and showing out. And it wasn't the one that they just released.
It's funny. I talked to OZ yesterday, and I was like, do you feel like this could kind of be a real opportunity for you, a real breakout potential? And he's like, man, I know what I can do. I just really hope, I get a lot of opportunities. If you missed it at all, Jahan Dotson traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to hit these phones. Guys, before I come to you, I'm going to ask you to be concise with your points, and we'll try to get through as many callers as we can. Shane is in Oxon Hill. What up, Shane?
Man, this all I gotta say, man. The same people that saying that this is a good trade is the same people who telling me that, we got better in free agency. I love the draft, and I'm not arguing against Adam Peters and his draft, but some of the same things that he's doing is the same things we killed, Ron Rivera for doing, bringing in their guys. And, you know what I'm saying? Are we really saying that this guy, Olamide Zacchaeus, he had 10
Ron brought an
last
entire
year.
staff from a subpar team. These guys have put things together from all over, and they've signed free agents from all
But
over.
Ron did everything. I don't think Adam is doing everything.
But Shane, you're not wrong if your point is you're skeptical of the current receiving core, because outside of Terry, nobody's proven anything.
He had 10 catches last year. Dammy Brown had 12 catches last year. And now I understand, Brian Mitchell, you want to try to always give everybody the benefit of the doubt and, it's a new regime. And but bro, I go by stats and numbers, okay? They're not better than Dammy. Dammy had 500 yards in 12 games and 7 touchdowns his rookie year. You feel me? But I'm just glad that
my whole thing is you keep going back to his rookie year, bro. Tell me about last year.
EB sucked last year.
So it was EB fault that he couldn't get over. It was EB fault that he couldn't get over.
Every time he threw the ball, he caught the ball. Go look at his catch percentage, bro. Do you want me to? I got it right in front of me.
Well, you can show me, because every time he was throwing the ball last year, he did not catch it.
I'll give it to you right here.
Well, he didn't catch every ball he was throwing to last year. He didn't catch every ball that was thrown to him last year.
Man,
that's a fact.
You said what now?
That's a fact. He didn't catch every ball that was thrown to him. He started having drops last year, and that was concerning to people because they thought he had good hands.
That's part of playing receiver, bro.
You just say he caught all the balls that was thrown to him.
Nobody's
last year,
100%.
if I may, Shane, last year there were noticeable drops compared to the rookie season where his hands were damn near perfect.
Yes.
There was a noticeable
if you're
drop
not getting targeted as much, or if you're running in a terrible scheme.
Shane, I got to try to let other callers in. It's a good call, dude, and I appreciate you calling. All right, I can't get other callers in. This is a hell of a day for the Nats to have a day game.
Oh, boy.
You know what? You know who's the biggest winner today?
Who?
Guess.
Us.
No. Chris Russell about to have the best ratings of his life. Thank you to everybody that listened to the program today.
Russell show's actually starting early today. It's on at 1.
Listen to the Nats game, or Russell, I'm sure we'll be talking.
Boy.
Thank you to everybody that listened to the program today. Thank you to Kevin Falk for joining us. Thank you to John Keim for joining us. B, have a great trip. Congratulations on meeting that granddaughter. Jahan Dotson, Philadelphia Eagle. Woo!
I got to go talk to the radio station in Philly now.
It's going to be
calling me.
All right. Nats baseball coming your way next. Made it this far. Oh, your beer.